behind.
We are so sorry about that. We lost live feed here. I don't know where we lost. We were just busy talking, and then Jenna, actually being the wonderful co-host that she is, kind of pointed out that we just lost live feed. So my apologies on that, but we're up and ready to go. Who
I didn't do it this time. That's all.
It was
I'm
the
saying.
Illuminati.
Wasn't me. Wasn't me. No rant, no nothing. It
What's
just
that mean?
It was Hydra. It was Hydra.
Yes,
it was Hydra all the way.
Hail Hydra!
No, I know it's the Lords of the Round Table. You know, they're sabotaging the show. You know,
Secret invasion.
You know that's I know what's going on here. I know.
We're straight scrolling this bitch.
So where were we at? Were we off on Ryan? Go ahead, brother. I believe it was your turn.
Ken looks so awesome right now.
Oh, those are 3D. I have a pair of those.
I want that.
Yeah, the sunglasses are amazing. Where's your parrot?
Talk about those
Beware.
for an hour.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brian.
Okay, so getting back to the beginning of the conversation when you were talking about scripts coming in and they just weren't up to snuff, and you didn't feel, you weren't really feeling it. As an artist, do you have input to the story if something like that is going on, or is it kind of just this is it, draw it?
Depends on who the writer is. I mean, really. I mean, sometimes well, I mean, I wouldn't say they give me a lot of leeway to do what I kind of want to do. Like if I want, even with Cullen, if I want to add something, I could add something because they script it after they put the dialogue in afterwards. So I've added panels and I've added things. If the beat is a little bit off and I want to add another beat, I could do that. If some of the descriptions are, I could if I find a better way to get it done, then I have that way to do it. So it's good. It's fun to do it. Sometimes it's not fun. Sometimes you get a script and it's hamburger. You know what I mean? You're trying to make steak, right?
Right.
So and sometimes I'm hamburger. And it's a beautiful script and I don't have the time to do a beautiful job. I gotta get it done. So you're always at this. You're trying to find the right synergy between doing the best job you possibly can and doing a really good and getting a really good script. I mean, working with Colin right now, it's awesome because he really writes to my strength. You know what I mean? And some other books that I've done lately, not so much. You know what I mean? And that's why you get a book and you kind of go, oh man, this is not to my strength, or like doing Secret Six, that was not to my strength. I mean, I did what I could with that, but it wasn't my kind of book. It just wasn't, you know what I mean? And whether it's not Gail or whatever, it's just the way it worked between the two of us. I mean, I just wish that the guy who took over Dale English, he did an amazing job with it. It was same stuff. He just had a better they had a better synergy, and it just worked out. And that's what you do. Like you find what's best works for you. I don't care less what happens. It's just sometimes you read something, you're like, that's not me, and other guys go, oh, I love that. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure people doing Kenny X-Men go, that wasn't my book. My book was something else. But for me, it's my book. I loved this book growing up. So I love drawing on Kenny X-Men. It was like something I was born to do. So, you can't. The love of something has a lot to do with how you execute something as well. So, I've got scripts and I've just gone, man, this is like pulling teeth, man. And other times I've got scripts and I go, oh, this is just glorious stuff. It's so much fun to draw. So it's the way it works. Sometimes you get something you really love to draw, and sometimes you're just paying your bills. And I mean, that's kind of how it works.
Do you find there's a lot of back and forth between artist and writer, or is it you get the script and you just go, and at the end you turn it in, and that's that?
Just be honest. I'll be honest with you, man. Yeah, I can be honest with you, and this is gonna probably shock people. I have in my career, I have spoken to 2 writers I worked with while I was currently doing the book. And that's the last 2. That's Cullen and Gail. Everything else was handed to me, and then that's kind of it.
Wow.
I mean, so that tells you something. I mean, sometimes, and they'll, you know, if I tell Cullen, hey, what were you thinking here? And he goes, well, this, then oh, okay, I get it. Sometimes you read something, and sometimes it's jargon. Sometimes it's the way the person writes something down that you don't quite understand what he means, and you draw something that's not quite accurate. So and then they got to scramble to fix it, or you got to redraw it. I've never redrawn anything, but sometimes you know it's not what it could be because you're sometimes you don't quite understand. And also, I'm on the 4th issue of this run, and I'm almost finished the 4th one. So yeah, I get it, and I'm also going, oh, you know what? This is okay. I get what he's going with, and I'm getting better. The more you do something, the better you get, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just one of those things where you just got to keep rolling. Hopefully, you get something good to work on in your career, and then you go off you go.
Cool. Thanks.
Ooh.
Go ahead,
bro.
Tim. I think you had a question, brother.
Yeah. Damn, happy Mother's Day. Okay. Kenny, I know you like drawing Colossus, and you're a Marvel guy. Maybe this could be a two-part question, but maybe we already know the answer. But who are your favorite characters to draw? And also, do you have any, how would I say, creator-owned projects that you're currently developing that you already developed in the past and never got greenlit, like something for Image, something, you know how artists and writer would get together, let's do something, like something for Image where you have more creative control. Do you have anything in the works, or did you have something that never panned out?
Yeah, I've got the Colossus is my favorite character because he reminded me so much of me growing up, not the Russian part, not the Chrome part, but the fact that he was a big guy that drew, and he was kind of a kind-hearted giant, which is when I played ball back in the day. I was the big kid, kind of sweet, but I had an off switch, so I was kind of that 6'4" kid in high school playing football, and I was the big guy, but I didn't want to hurt anybody, that kind of stuff. So I kind of resonated with that character. I don't know why, I just did. And also, as far as creator own goes, I mean, I've got it's where I'm at that point now where I've got like maybe 4 or 5 projects on the go that I've been doing, with other people, and one of them is a friend of mine who does all the Zack Snyder's special effects. So he worked on Batman vs Superman and Sucker Punch, and he's a visual effects supervisor for all of his films, and he's a really, really good friend of mine. I'm working with a project on with him. Kevin Grievous, Underworld creator. I'm working with him. I've got so many things. I have to turn down stuff. I'm basically saying I can't do that, or because an artist is different from a writer. A writer can do 5 or 6 projects in a month. An artist can't. So, I'm making small. I can do 2 pages a month while I'm doing my other stuff. So that doesn't. It's slow progress. So you try to be respectful to everyone's time, but the truth is you can only do 1 or 2 projects. Plus, I have my own stuff that I want to do. And that's my own thing, and I feel bad for a lot of people who approach me and they say, "Yeah, I'd love to work with you," and I have an idea, and I go, "Well, I got ideas too," and I would love to do my own as well. So I probably turn down about 10 a week. I turn down 10 calls a week. It's sort of just like, "Hey, man, I wish I could, but I can't." But and it's sad because sometimes they're really good creators. I know if I say yes, it's gonna sit on my shelf for 2 years. It just I don't have the time to do 5 other projects plus a monthly book, plus I'm designing a cartoon series for Chorus Entertainment, a very, very popular series from the 70s is coming back, and I'm designing that TV show, and I'm one of the designers for Hasbro on Transformers.
Wait. Can you tell us what that 70s property is that you just said?
No, not yet. My contract says not for another 2 months.
Oh, trying to get a damn Comic Book Fanatics exclusive on here, man. I'm trying to.
You know what, Ken? You can always let something slip. Incidentally, I mean, not even a little.
You know what? I asked them,
brother. I mean,
I asked them.
But hey, Ken.
All I'm saying is, if you really think about it honestly, you can figure it out. If you really think about it, I'm not telling you not to think about it, but think about it. They already came out with Voltron, so that's not that. But I already worked on Voltron too. I did some packaging stuff for them, and I went to the meeting and I met with DreamWorks with them a few months ago. That's actually the meeting where I actually had all this. I was actually there for the Voltron meeting and meeting with them and talking to them about doing some other stuff for San Diego and some other junk. And then they asked me, and then the Star Wars packaging room was there, and I hadn't seen, and I tried to stay clear of it. This is like June. And this is like months, so I was there, and they're like, "Hey, Ken, you wanna go in the room and see the stuff?" And I went, "No, No. I want to enjoy it when it comes out. But I ended up after the third day. I went in there. I looked around. I read some stuff. And then of course, I go to dinner with the guy because the art director who was I like that. The art director who brought me in for the DreamWorks meeting is also the art director for Star Wars. So we're talking and we're going for dinner, and he says, "Want me to tell you what happens?" And I go, "No." Then I go, "Yeah." So he tells me the whole thing, and then we talked about it some more. And then he tells me about Han Solo, what happens to Han Solo. And this is like 6 months out. So I go, "Dude, you can't. Why did you?" So I called my wife and I told her what happens.
Oh.
And she's like, "Why did you tell me?" I said, "Because if it's going to be ruined for me, it has to be ruined for you. It's just the way it has to work. And that's what marriage is about." so that's what it's about, man. It was a great opportunity. But I mean, so if you really think about 70s cartoons that were really popular, and Voltron's already out.
Okay, can we play a game then where you can say, hey, I'm serious here. We're not going to get you into trouble.
Tim is really serious about this business right here, so you're going to have to give him a little bit more than what you gave him right there, Ted.
All right.
Hot and cold, right? We'll play guesses, and you can tell us if we're hot or cold or warm. Or you can just say no comment, and that'll give us, the answer.
Okay, all right. I'll play a game. I'll let you.
Gotcha, man.
All right. First of all, it's a '70s cartoon, right?
Gotcha, man.
Is it is it Japanese based?
Yes.
All right.
Gotcha, man.
I already know.
It's already being developed by a Japanese company, and you know that, right? They made a live action movie of Gotcha Man. So it was Japanese based, but popular in here in the States.
So what do you say?
No, I think Ray said Gotcha Man, but Gotcha Man had already been, that had been released already as a. So, in the American version, was it the same name as the Japanese?
No comment.
Thank you. I got it. Thank you.
Hey man, we're gonna talk about this Thursday.
No comment.
Hey, Ken, I'm gonna say this, and I think I mentioned it earlier, but I think myself, Tim, Ryan, and James would love it if you would make an appearance on Lords of the Roundtable sometimes. And I know Tim has 1,000,001 questions to ask you, especially on his show, and so that's a plug for that one, because we also do another show called Lords of the Roundtable, which is it's an awesome show if you haven't checked that out. But I'm sure you have, because you're on the Comic Book Fanatics Facebook page where we do post things like that. But I do have a question for you, Ken, before we actually get around to anybody else. But have you seen Captain America: Civil War?
Come on, bro.
Thoughts and opinions about Civil War, brother. What do you think of it? How do you grade it from either CGC grade or CBCS grade? I mean, how do you feel about that, man?
Okay, I absolutely was blown away by some of the visuals. It was absolutely stunning to see. It was a great experience. The only thing I would say that would be negative was the level of Black Panther's abilities. Like I just thought that he, like those guys. If you go by the comic book, those guys
now,
wouldn't be able to.
You drew Black Panther too.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He would dust Bucky in a fight. Come on. I mean, he would kick Bucky up and down the place, right? So it's just weird to see him. So, but then again, it's the characterization, right? Like, but they got Spider-Man right on. Black Panther regalness and his, it's also they did that right. But I think overall it is probably the most entertaining superhero movie I've ever seen. You know what I mean? Like I saw Batman, Superman, and I was kind of waiting for it to end. You know what I mean? I was kind of like, oh, this is you have all the cool bits. You got Superman, you got Batman, you got Wonder Woman, and it was not entertaining as much as it could have been. And I was so entertained by the Marvel movies. I just loved it. I loved everything about it. I always gauge myself by my interest to see it again.
Did you like it better than Batman versus Superman?
Oh yeah. Of course. Yeah, it was more entertaining.
Come on, bro. That's like steak compared to hamburger, man. Come on now.
Well, no,
Okay.
Ken has not been on our show for about 2 months now.
Yeah.
We didn't have an opportunity to tell him, or talk to him a little bit about, Batman versus Superman. But
Yeah.
given that you did work for DC, given that you did work for Xenoscope, and also you work for Marvel now, what are your thoughts and opinions as far as when they do TV shows, movies, and comic books based on those characters, and then you see a disappointment in something like Batman versus Superman, and then how Civil War it's just absolutely amazing with the action and the characters and the story plot.
Well, it's weird. It's weird. It's almost like the people doing Batman and Superman don't read comics. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like they don't read them. It's like, well, the reason why you're making this is because you should like the comics. You mean? And so sometimes I think it doesn't resonate. It seems like a different story. I mean, the characters are kind of the same, but not really. But the guys at Marvel, it seems like they read the books and they're just porting from the book to the screen, and that's kind of what we expect. Spider-Man is exactly like how he is in the comic book. You know what I mean? It's like, and and that's why I think it works. I just think it works. You go, oh, that's what I expect, and that's what it is. And I think that's the best part of it. When you see, like Superman's costume is just too dark. It just doesn't feel like Superman. Everyone's brooding and upset and miserable. And then we watch the Marvel books. You can tell these guys are having fun. And making this movie must have been fun. And watching it was fun. Do you know what I mean? And I'm sure everyone here's seen it, but there's some scenes in there that I would just. Oh my God! And also, I mean, I have to be biased because a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, is actually in the movie and he has a speaking role. So it's kind of cool, And so my kids know him, so there he is talking, and we're like, oh, we're screaming in the theater, and everyone's looking like, why are you guys? Nothing's happening here. But and he was a henchman. He was the henchman holding the vial. And he's a
cool.
and he's a good friend of mine, good friend of mine, and also. I tell you a little bit of trivia. He was actually in Avengers, the first Avengers movie. He played Thanos. He had the prosthetic face on, and he's the one who turned around the screen.
He's the African American actor.
Yeah,
they originally
exactly.
got somebody else's face before they hired Josh Brolin to actually make him look like Josh Brolin. Okay.
Yeah, it was his face. So. I met him years ago, and we became good friends, and so it's good to see him on screen. And he's so shady too, because he's saying, "Oh, I'm in Atlanta filming something. Oh, we're talking back and forth about this," not telling me he's in Civil War. I mean, so and it's like it's great, and seeing him on screen and having his moment and fighting Black Widow and talking smack to her and his accent, it was great. And also, I mean, what a great experience for me. Or my kids, like we leave the theater, and I text them and I said, "Dude, I just saw you in Civil War. How cool is that?" And he's like. And he makes a real smart comment to me that probably all of you are gonna go, oh, he said, remember, I got shot with a dart, I didn't get killed. so we all started, whoa!
Ken, let's see if you agree. My contention has always been that DC and Warner Brothers has a disconnect, whereas Marvel and Disney have more of a synergy, and of course Marvel has Kevin Feige, and I think DC Warner Brothers is missing that Kevin Feige who knows the source material. I mean, that's what one of the things about Civil War was like, okay, they got it. The Russo brothers understand the source material. They did not have to explain to us that Black Panther's vibranium absorbs things, so when bullets are bouncing off him, as comic book fans, like, well, shit, that makes total sense, right? But knowing the source material, knowing what vibranium does, that's those kind of little things, and then we won't get into spoilers, but in the airport scene where they actually did that thing and it is really big, I was like, no, they're not going to do that. I got, holy shit, they just did that, and it succeeded because they had a it had a good chance of looking hokey to have such a big scene. Trying to be spoiler free, it's hard, man. But you know what I mean? It's really, I mean, they pulled it off, but man, one way the other way, it could have looked really hokey. But goddamn,
but it's what I love about it. I love the fact, maybe I'm not saying that people at DC are not comic fans, because they are. They have to be. You dedicated your life to this medium. That's your job. I think sometimes they're taking themselves a little too serious when they're making their product. And I think they need to realize that it's still a fun medium. It's have fun with it, and it's not brooding and miserable and rainy and dark and sleet. Like that's what I felt like every time I see Superman. He was it was raining on him all the time. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean. It's when you watch a Marvel movie, it's like every single person is in character, and they write it with that person's voice, and it feels that way. Like when Spider-Man was talking, it felt like Spider-Man. You know, it didn't feel like somebody was forcing him to talk or he's talking through someone else's lenses. It was an amazing thing to watch, and you know, the conversation on the way home was awesome because my daughters were saying, "Oh, so what was that?" And I explained, "Oh, that's cool because in this it was this. Oh, that's cool." And I'm explaining to them the history because I can expect even the Superman stuff. They're like, "Oh, Dad, is that guy Doomsday?" I said, "Well, yeah, I guess sorta, but was that I don't know, was that your design, Dad?" I said, "Well, no, not really, but it kind of looked like the bone." Yeah, I don't know. It was sort of but when I left Civil War, it was like, "Oh, Spider-Man was cool. Black Panther was cool. Oh, I can't wait till they go to Wakanda. Oh, that's sad that his I mean, like they don't have to know the comic books, but it was so well laid out that they know who's what, and there's no questions, right? Just how it's gonna play out." So, I really enjoyed it, and you know, I would see it again. And I'm a Black Panther guy, and I went there going to think, "Oh, bro, just don't make the black guy look like an idiot." That's all I gotta say. Just don't make the brother guy look like an idiot. You know, and I don't want him to get punked by get the scissor kick on the side of her head and throw him to the ground. I said, "Oh no! If Black Panther gets thrown to the ground by Black Widow, I'm going home." So it was good. I mean, he had his moments. I hate the claws. I've always thought that I don't like the claws. I've always thought it looked kind of goofy, you know. And you know, they kind of did a little bit of that. I don't like that. But other than that, the suit looked cool. He was cool. But I love the extra scene. Was sick. I mean, it was just, I can't wait to see what they do next with that character.
All right, so let's move on to a chat question, Jenna. What do we got for a chat question?
Perfect. I was just checking the chat, and it said that Splash Page Comics wanted to know if you've ever hidden any messages in your drawings.
Oh, that's some Illuminati shit right there.
All the time. Don't tell Marvel I said that. All the time. My wife is all the time. Why not? It's like, you know, my wife has been a hot dog vendor in a book of, I think it was Spider-Man. I drew myself as I've done all kinds of stuff, but you know, graffiti on the wall. Yeah, I put my kids' names. I had a flash book. I had my two daughters' names at a store. Actually, in X-Men. The first issue I did, my wife's name is actually, her initials are on the coffee shop window when Magneto and Psylocke are walking through. Yeah, why not? It's my daughter walks by and I put her name somewhere. Yeah, why not? I mean, it's small stuff. I'm not saying like I don't change the essence of the material, but I definitely put why wouldn't I put people I know in it? Like one of my good friends talking smack about his team is better than my team in football, and I may put his name on one of the lapels of one of the guys getting shot. Like like whatever. Like or him getting rescued. From a Nightcrawler from a raft. Like I would do that all the time. Like what? Why not? I do that all the time. And so you have to sort of you got to make it fun for yourself. So I've done that. I've done that a few times.
I'm so glad that you're actually honest, because we've asked a couple of times with certain people, and they're always like, "Oh no, I don't." But that is
But I think also Jenna. I think Sam De La Rosa told us too that he actually drew himself into one of the panels too, in one of the comics. Remember? But I think it's so cool that you guys can actually do that. I mean,
doesn't Tom McFarlane do that? Didn't Tom McFarlane put either Felix Cat or something in a panel of every comic?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Listen, man. Why wouldn't we? Listen, we're not talking about changing the source material. I'm talking about somebody running in the background and I got a backpack and it looks like my daughter's backpack. Whoopie smack. You know what I mean? Like,
would it be okay if you drew me into like your next comic book or something? My little avatar with the little thumbs up, and you know
what? I'm gonna knock you out with something. You guys are gonna. Every time I tell this story, I've told the story 2 times, and I'll tell you the third. You know that every G.I. Joe character design that I've done, or G.I. Joe, is actually the face is based on someone that works at Hasbro. So Hasbro art directors, they do this all the time. They go, "Dude, I look like Duke. why not? So it's like, so they use their face, and sometimes they send me pictures of themselves. They go, make me whatever, Roadblock, and I go, dude, you're a white dude, you can't be Roadblock.
Make me something.
Ken, I got an easier question. Hey, bro,
Hey, you know what? I've done that. I've done that before, and actually.
Can you just make me Snake Eyes? I mean, he's wearing a mask. Ain't nobody gonna know.
Well, you know what? It's funny that they made me. I have my own G.I. Joe figure. I mean, they were kind enough to bless me with that, and they put my face on a Dreadnought character called Burnout, and yeah, it's pretty cool, man. You know, it's cool, and they do that all kinds, man. It doesn't happen all the time. Why wouldn't you? It's your face. Why not? If you're working on the brand and you're the guy in charge, why wouldn't you make? Why wouldn't you put that? Why would you not?
I would put my face on every damn thing that if I was working on, just to throw it out there.
I agree, Marty. I would put your face on toilet paper.
Oh, you know what? Of course. So,
hold on a second. I'm going to show you my action figure. How about that?
Yes.
And while you're at it, Ken, would you mind showing us something that you're working on recently, or maybe a commission or something that's upcoming, or? This is going to be exciting because, you know, we get the first few.
I don't know if I can.
While you guys are waiting, look at this badass Batgirl that I got for him.
That's awesome.
All right, everybody.
Alright.
I got about 6 different Ken Lashley fits. I
Let's
squeezed
see if
my
I can
ass.
find one here. Yeah, well, here you go. This is actually the figure. That's my face.
Ha!
Cool. They did a good job. It looks sort of like me. I'm a little thinner, but I'll take it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I can't go wrong with that, right?
Yep.
So now you're going to cosplay as that character now?
Pardon me, what?
You're going to cosplay as that character now?
Nah, man. I'm a big black dude. I don't cosplay, man. Come on now.
Since we're already on Jeff Johnson, go ahead, brother. You want to go ahead and ask a question to Ken? Go ahead.
I have 2 questions for you, Ken, if you don't mind.
Uh-oh.
One is, have any of your drawing of your art style have been turned into statues?
No, not really, but more toys. I mean, I'm a toy guy, so I do a lot of toys. Yeah, I haven't had too many turned into statues. But a lot of them turned into toys. So, but I did a whole line for Hasbro called Star Wars Unleashed, and they were sort of statues. They were toys, but they were really more statues than anything else. And I did a lot of the design. I did the Boba Fett busting out of the Sarlacc pit design, and I did all the packaging for that line as well. So I did like 3 or 4 years of packaging. In fact, they used my artwork on from that line on so many different products. In fact, check this out. Here in Toronto, they sell these. So they took my artwork and they put it on hockey helmets.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so and you can buy these at Canadian Tire, which is right around the corner from me. And I had a whole bunch. They did my Boba Fett. They did Darth Vader, this one, and they did some other ones. There's a whole bunch of them. All my drawings, actually. So when you go to the local store, I'm buying them all. And the guy goes, "Oh, you have a hockey team?" I go, "No, I drew this." so it's exciting. It's kind of cool.
My second question is kind of a personal question. I saw the work you did for Manny NYC, the Black Panther, on a blank cover. Who do I have to kill to get something like that?
Manny.
Who do you have to kill to get a?
Who do I have to do to get a sketch?
You have to name drop, and then you have to be very, very patient about a commission.
Good, because if Jeff gets one, I need something done too. All right, so you go first, Jeff.
Listen, man, let me tell you a story. I got a list like the size of my arm. I've got about 25 to get done. Yeah, I haven't taken anything new for a while. Anything like done at home. So I've probably got at least 20 to get done in the next month or so. And I let everyone know. I say, hey, I'm just gonna take a time. But the ones I do at home are always better. If you're willing to wait, then you're gonna get something better. And everyone who gets something in the mail from me always gets something special. Like I put extra print in there. I sign an extra book. I do whatever. Because I always pay for shipping too. So I always FedEx it so that I can track it. You can track it right to your house. And,
that's why I'm so
I hate that.
Ken, I'm so patient. I'm so patient.
Yeah, especially what he's making for
Well,
you.
you
Yeah,
asked
you
for,
better
like,
be
6
damn patient.
characters.
Shut the hell up, Marty.
Well, he's also asked for like 6. He asked for 6 hot chicks on a cover. What does he expect is going to happen, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with
it is what it is. Well,
Ken Lashley
the guys who want
draws
Ghost Rider, what happens, man?
All right, so
It's what
Trevor.
happens, man. The longer it's, the more stuff you ask for, the longer it's going to take.
Oh, dude, brother, I'm not complaining one bit. I have been so patient. Dude,
No.
6 hot chicks on a cover, front and back, I'm okay with. Dude, take 5 years if you need to, man, okay? I mean, I'm okay with that, okay?
And we can wait for
Don't ever
CGC.
don't ever tell an artist it takes 6 years to do something because you're going to get it in 10. So don't do it. Say you want it right away.
Well,
That
did
way
I
we go,
say,
okay,
did I say 5 years? I meant 5 months.
Don't say that.
Well, Marty,
Trevor,
Wait, Jeff, what you were saying before? You were saying something?
No, I was going to tell Ken, if we could wait for CGC and CBCS, we could definitely wait for a piece of art from you, man.
Yeah,
Just for-
definitely. I second and third and fourth and fifth and sixth and seventh and eighth, ninth, 10th that, definitely.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
All right.
It's
Hey.
weird because some people say they can wait and then they get upset and they send you these emails and they're mad about something and then I say,
Hey, I'm not mad, Ken. I'm not mad, okay, man? I mean, just because I say emails doesn't mean I'm
If
mad.
Marty pisses
Alright.
you off, send it to me.
I am not
Send it to
I'm
me.
not mad. I was just curious, okay?
you know what? I always answer and I'm always very polite, but I can't imagine sometimes when people ask me these questions what they're thinking because sometimes I say, well, do you expect me to do a commission before I get my monthly work done? Is that what you expect me to do? You expect me to put Marvel stuff aside so I can draw a picture of Ghost Rider? I mean, like it doesn't. I mean, you're not think. It has to be at my leisure. It has to be when I at the end of the day, where I'm and if I have a deadline and I got to do a book in 3 weeks, chances are I'm not going to spend 2 hours drawing a commission. I got to get my stuff done, and when that's over with, then I'll do the commissions. So it has to be smart. So I always explain that to people, and also I'm paying for shipping. Some of these people, they're nice, super nice, but they're not thinking. They say, "Well, I gave you $80 for a commission." I said, "Yeah," and me shipping it to you costs $70. So what do you do? Basically, I'm doing it for free. So I don't think sometimes you got to sort of look at it and think about what you're saying to people. And if you had a $500 commission with me, fine. That makes sense. You're $100, $200 commission. I'm going to do it the best I can, but you got to give me some slack too, right? So I'm going to be cool. I mean, you're not paying me for any of the materials. Like it's cost me money to make a sketch cover. I got to buy the sketch covers. I got to buy the paper. I got to buy the supplies and all that stuff. It's not free for me. And sometimes I think people and you know what? It's really cool. Good people, and they're really respectful and they're nice and they're kind. You go that extra mile. It's when somebody I had one guy who asked me to do something, and he was really aggressive, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not even at home, and I actually did the sketch, and he was really upset because it took a week longer than I said it would. I put his money back into the envelope and sent it. So basically, I gave back the money and I gave him the artwork, and then he tried to flip it on eBay.
Oh,
What do you want me to do?
The people out there just piss me off when I hear
I'm
shit
sorry
like
about
that.
that,
It
everybody.
really does. It's really disrespectful. And also, a lot of people, especially on eBay, they fucking don't understand that you got to pay fucking shipping on shit. They just fucking, well, that's too much. Well, it's just fucking, hey, man. I'm sorry to hear that, Ken. That's a bunch of bullshit.
So here, guy, read between the lines. If you want Ken to really do a commission for you quickly, ask him to do Colossus. That's his favorite.
Or Sabretooth. Sabretooth is one of his favorites as well, which you mentioned earlier. Trevor, you had a wonderful question earlier, man, and since you're on, I'm going to allow you to ask that. Go ahead, brother. Ask that question, man. Really good question.
Well, first of all, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. I don't know what's been asked or whatnot because I unfortunately was stuck in a dinner. I couldn't attend earlier, but my question for Ken was basically when did you realize in your early years, I guess, that you were pretty great at drawing and that was something you were going to carry through to be a career?
I'm still working on that part. It's I don't know. I think I'm probably about 1920 where I realized where I know I could draw, and I could draw, fairly well and good enough to get an art school and all that stuff. But before you really truthfully make a career out of it, you gotta gauge yourself against the guys who are working. I mean, and I gauge myself against some of the best guys out there, and I could hold my own. I thought so. I said, okay, well, maybe I could do this, And the early stuff I did was just garbage. It was so bad, but I was 22, 23, 24. I'm learning. I'm still learning the business. I'm in my 40s now. Hopefully, I am better than I was when I was in my 20s. So yeah, but probably about 1920, where I thought, oh, maybe I could do this for a living. Maybe I could do it. So
cool.
Hey, Ken, what was the very first cover you ever did? Either for ever did Xenoscope?
Excalibur. I think Excalibur number 70 something. It was early on. That's my second or third book in the business. That's in 1993. When the Wild Wild West of comics, when big numbers and big things were going on, and yeah, that's I think 73, and I think I had I think it was Rachel and Jean Grey on the cover. I think that's my first one. And then, that was my first thing I think I would have it. Yeah.
Hey Ken, I have a question.
Well, hold on a second, Jeff. Before we, I know Ken's very limited on time. He's only have an hour with us tonight, so we'll go ahead and finish off with Jeff, your question, and any of the panel members that want to ask one final question, and then we'll go ahead and let Ken go because I know he's very busy. He's got a time crunch on some work to do. So go ahead and close it out right now. But Jeff, go ahead and ask your question, and then.
Okay. It's just real quick. Ken, I noticed you got some artwork behind you. I just want to know, do you have a favorite artist?
Oh, good question.
Yeah, my favorite artist growing up was John Byrne. I mean, that was my favorite artist of that generation. But the guys now that I really like is Eminem is really good. There's lots of guys out there. I mean, who do some amazing work. I mean, there's always, Sean Murphy is sick, and there's always guys doing cool things, that I could look at and learn something from. Alan Davis is one of my all-time favorites. I get a chance to meet him. I think he's going to be at Detroit this weekend, so I'm going to go over there. I may go over there and grab his portfolio and run. So so I'll do that, and and that's about. I mean, I like old school guys who could really draw well. I mean, I don't. All these new guys who, new tricks and stuff. I'm not interested in that. I like guys who are really good draftsmen. Draw anything, anytime, anywhere. No use tricks. See them at a comic convention. They got a sheet of paper in front of them, and they can just do it. Those are the guys I'm interested in hanging out with or learning something from. I mean, you see an Eminem book. When you look at Stuart Eminem's book, you say to yourself, "There's nothing that guy can't draw." I mean, and that's. Coppell is saying there's nothing he can't draw, and that's what I want to be an artist where people get my books and go, there's not a hole in Ken's arsenal. Ken can do everything, and and there's very few guys who can do that. I'm getting there hopefully, but that's what I want. I want you to buy my book and say everything is drawn to the same level.
You guys need to get this. I'm serious. This is straight ill, man. The Deadpool hip hop with the gold chains on it. You guys, this is a Ken Lashley print. You need to get this.
Do you notice the raccoon's gun is a ghetto blaster, right?
Yeah. It's got the cassette right in the middle. He had this in his booth, and I was just blown. I said, I need to get that. And I was like, I ain't got no more money, but, hey.
Hey, still got one.
Hey, Ken, let me ask you something. What's your schedule or your calendar for the SoCal, Southern California con schedule? Well, there's Long Beach, Comic-Con, San Diego, Kamikaze.
I'm looking at my schedule now. My wife is gracious enough to give me a 2-year calendar because I have to sort of figure it out. And I think the only one I'm doing in that area is going to be San Diego. Oh, and I'm going to Vegas, which is, I don't know if that's inclusive.
I may be going to Vegas. So here's the deal, man. I'm going to give you one of these Lords of the Long Box t-shirts, and I'll trade you for a print.
That's a bad trade, man. That's a bad trade. That print cost me 60 cents, right?
Yeah, I'm going to send you a Comic Book Fanatic shirt, no cost whatsoever, just for the fact that
right. For a con sketch, I get it.
Dan, I love you, brother. You know how much I love you, man. But,
I know what you're about.
Well, if we're throwing brags out here, can I give you a hug for one?
Shit.
You want a hug from Jenna. So, I'm going to get one more question, and I don't want to let one of my panel members go without even asking you one last question, Ken, so if you don't mind. Lou, Hero Statue Collector, brother, you are the last question for the night, brother. So if you would, go ahead and ask Ken.
Yeah, I'd love to know what was your favorite cover you ever did, and what was your best-selling cover?
Oh, I'd say my favorite cover I've ever. Oh, let me see my favorite cover. Probably the Superboy Blood cover. I did that one really fast. They made T-shirts from it. Actually, there's one hanging over my window. See that one there in the back?
Very cool.
Yeah, that's my favorite. I would say the most selling cover I've ever done is probably, it would have to be Age of Apocalypse. It would have to be issue number 1 or 2. Sold for like almost 2 million copies. Yeah, and that was and basically I bought a house. I'm sitting in it today.
Wow.
Damn.
To be honest with you. Wow. Yeah, I'm sitting in it today. I was one of the only all of that generation. A lot of young guys made we made big money, so they were like, "Oh, I'm buying cars and stuff." I said, "No, I'm buying property."
Yeah.
It's all about land. All about.
I saw Rob Liefeld's interview on Collider, and he was saying when he started up, what was it, Maximum Press or whatever?
Yep.
He was paying cats $500 a page because he didn't know about the comic business. And say what you will about Rob Liefeld, but when he hired on artists, when he had his own label, he really took care of them. He may have overpaid them and perhaps put the company out of business, but he at least got these guys a start. That's why some of the guys in Liefeld's camp are still real close to him to this day. $500 a page is a lot.
There were guys. I mean, I remember back in the day when I was working on Marvel, and they were recruiting guys for the Image, and the page rates were double, triple what guys were making other places. And it was basically, you can make this amount of money here, or you could set yourself up really well over here. So a lot of guys would just go, and they didn't know what the book was. But even if you offer a guy $500 a page, he's going to take it and go. So, but I mean, it was a cool time, man. But I was lucky enough that I was working on pretty good books, and I didn't have to worry about it. And they talked to me many times about leaving and going there, but it was weird. It was a weird time, and I was happy to be where I'm at. So I never really made a jump and did anything like that. But also, I was the next wave of guys after the image guys left. So Marvel was kind of really reluctant to make any of us stars. They were like, "Oh, we don't want any more of this stuff." Do you remember when Marvel was saying stuff like, "We put the character back in comics, the character in comics"? Remember that whole line? Yeah, because they were trying to steer you away from the creator and make it more about the book, right? So, and that's really what happened. I mean, and it was tough because you want to be a star. You see these guys as rock stars, and Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee, they're all rock stars, and you're doing the same job, but the book is more popular than you are because that's the way the marketing. And I understand that. That's business because they got 9 guys left, and it was making huge money, and they were stealing guys left and right. So of course the Marvel's saying, "Hey man, we're just gonna put the character back in comics." So it was a fun time, and of course that bottoms out, and then it's back to even numbers, and everything is relative, right? So.
Ken, you are a man of your word. First time you were on Comic Talk, you promised that you would actually come back and talk a little bit more about your Uncanny X-Men and what you were working on, and definitely a man of your word. Thank you so much for coming on, and by all means, please show what you got going on right there before we.
Oh, this is actually issue number 2, the one that just came out last Wednesday. So this is the full book, right? So I'm not selling anything from the issue. I still have all the pages, and you see them all right here on in their glory.
Jesus, that's sick. That's nice. Wow.
So I'm still enjoying it. I'm still enjoying it. These are all the pages. I've been. I'm also not going to sell any pages until after the 5th one is done, because I'm having a gallery showing in Metropolis, in New York City at the New York City Comic Con, and you can see all.
Oh wow!
The whole run, and then I'll probably make some sales then. Then off we go. This is my favorite page, of course. This is the double page. That's how big it is.
Gosh.
Wow.
Jeez.
That's the Morlock double pager. That you can see all the Morlocks and you can see all what's happening. You know, the underground. Actually, it was actually cut off a little bit at the bottom. You see more of the bottom part of it. When they actually printed the book, it's actually a little bit smaller, so you can actually see a lot of the artwork, and the colors did an amazing job on that. So,
Ken, that's just absolutely amazing. The detail in your penciling and your ink, man. I mean,
well,
oh my God, dude, it's just amazing, you know.
I appreciate you saying that, man. There's lots of cool stuff that I've been fortunate enough to work on. This is my favorite page for mission number 2, probably the Psylocke doing her thing and the fighting and.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
That's very nice. Unbelievable. Wow.
If you don't stop talking, I can see it. God damn it.
Yeah, well, I'm talking. I'm trying to. People are talking to me. I'll show it again, and I'll talk this time. You know what I mean? You know,
Marty, set up his thing. Set up the camera to him.
Hold on a second. There we go.
When you get a chance to draw this kind of stuff, you get a chance to really get into it and have some fun with it. And you know, you really got to take your chances, right? So this is one of those things. I mean, storytelling-wise, it's not the best page because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But whatever, dude. I'm trying to draw a cool picture of Psylocke, and that's kind of what I went for in this one. You know what I mean? You got to have fun with it, right? Life is short.
That's amazing.
I will say one thing about
amazing. The detail that's involved, and I've actually seen you draw because when you're sent down and you're drawing my commission for me and other commissions, you make it seem just so flawless, you know, like it's a day at McDonald's, it's a day at freaking working, you know, construction or whatever.
Well, it's not quite like that, but but I will say this: it's more like I'm doing this for a long time. I know a lot of shortcuts, and it seems like I'm some kind of savant doing this stuff, but really I know exactly what I'm doing, and where I want to cut my corners and how I want to do things. So that's really, you're seeing it's sort of like a magic show, but it's 20 years of me perfecting it, so it's like you're seeing, it looks like it's effortless, but it's a lot of mistakes. I have bins and bins and bins of horrible drawing, and so lots of bad stuff that I have.
That to you is probably like wonderful to us. Don't throw them away, Ken. Just send them to me. You got my address.
I'm pretty sure I know bad stuff when I see it. And I'm telling you straight, it's not the best work. But I had to go through that. You have to go through that. It's like anything else. You gotta, it's like anything else. When I'm coaching football and I'm teaching a kid how to do something, I expect the kid to fail. I mean, I can't expect him to, to go out there and do exactly what he's supposed to do every time. He's gonna make mistakes. That's why there's coaches, right? So for me, it's like, I draw pages and I look at books afterwards they're done. And the X-Men stuff is the same way. Well, I should have made that choice different. I should have done this differently. That's where it goes. But you know what? I want to say thank you very much for having me on here. It's a lot of fun. And
thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for allowing us to ask you these questions, taking the time out of your busy schedule, especially being Mother's Day. I know you're very busy with your family and everything, but thank you so much for reaching out to me and allowing us to, to talk to you and ask all these wonderful questions.
Thanks, man.
I hope that we have the opportunity and that you grace us with your presence again on a future episode of Comic Talk.
Sure.
But thank you so much, man.
Anytime, my dad. And you too, everybody else. Thank you very much for asking questions. You guys are great.
Ken, let me say, looking forward to seeing you in Detroit next weekend, man.
Oh, that's good, man. I have a soft spot for Cinnabon, so just so you know.
Hey, I will bring as many as you want.
All right, guys.
Ken, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it. Namaste to you, brother, and it's so great to have you, man.
All right, guys. Peace, love. Take care.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Oh man, that was amazing. It's so wonderful to have Ken Lashley on the show, man. Just a wonderful guy, overall good person, man. Shout out to him. I know Manny tried to come on because Manny's a great fan of him. He popped in a little bit earlier, but got kicked out for whatever reason. But
he looked like he was on his cell phone. It probably had a bad signal.
I know he was a little disappointed because he wanted to be on here. He's a big fan of Ken as well, and he wanted to talk to him and thank him once again for that commission he did. If you guys saw if you're on the Comic Book Fanatics Facebook group, you saw the commission that oh man, it's just beautiful, man. It's just a beautiful piece.
It was
you know?
awesome. They did it.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
it is
Yeah.
gorgeous.
So, dude, such a treat, guys. The panel members, man, you guys were awesome with all these questions that you were asking. Ken, you kept the show going, you kept everything going. There's just so much questions going left and right. My apologies if I missed anybody. My apologies if I missed the chat group questions. Jenna, I know you were looking through the chat room. There's like 1,000,001 questions, but with an artist like Ken Lashley, you have but so much time, and then you try to get everybody's question in. So hopefully he'll come on again, and hopefully we'll be able to ask more questions. Maybe he'll have more time to spend with us. But nevertheless, Jenna, let's talk about some talking points that we discussed earlier. What is the first topic on talking points for Comic Talk tonight? Do you remember that, or do you have no idea, or do I need to
No, how can I forget? The biggest one ever. Let's start it off with Civil War, no spoilers, but what everyone has, if anybody's watched it, how they feel about the movie. Again, it's another Marvel movie, not DC.
Phew.
So.
Well, when you talk about a nerdgasm, when it comes to Civil War, you might as well have just came all over my face like that, and just like. That's how I felt about Civil War. It was so good that I watched it the Thursday night, the pre-opening, then I watched it the next following day. Absolutely wonderful movie, great movie, but it's not about me. Let's go ahead and go down the line here. We'll start with Tim. Tim, what did you think about Civil War, brother?
Well, we're going to say spoiler free, right?
Spoiler free.
Try.
All right, so spoiler free. I mean, I saw it Friday, so I saw it with a movie-going crowd that was hyped. You know what I mean? So, I'll tell you what I liked about it. I liked the characterization. For a lot of characters, everybody got their moments, and we said the same thing about the first Avengers movie. But what was more is the emotional resonation of the characters and as the movie went on, right? Mm-hmm. You picked a side, then you picked another side, then you went back to that side, and to be honest with you, I didn't see the last act coming. I kind of knew where it was going, but why they had that fight at the end, I sided with somebody else at that other end because I was like, man, that's fucked up. With that, that Cap didn't tell Stark a certain bit of information that he knew what we all knew that he knew since the Winter Soldier, right? So,
yeah.
Without giving it away, I mean, everybody knows that, right? Everybody knows that Hydra killed Tony Stark's parents, and Captain America knew that because when he went into that scene with Black Widow and they saw MODOK and that weird fucking box screen, and then it didn't dawn on me until I saw Civil War, like, holy shit, that Cap has known this all the time, and he never told Iron Man. So I could see both sides of it, you know what I mean? And that was good, because you know how everybody's like Team Cap or Team Iron Man. Shit, I switched sides like 4 times throughout the movie, because because they both made sense, and that was the good part of the storytelling. The only thing, like, me and Ryan talked about it was, I thought, like, after the first initial action scene that it did get a bit slow, but it was still character building, and I didn't like the way they shot the first action scene. There was a lot of shaky cam, like the airport scene. The airport scene was fucking perfectly, but amazing. I understand they wanted to be more gritty and everything like that, and so I gave it, if we're giving CGC grades, I give it a 9.6 with white pages. The only reason is because in relation to Winter Soldier, which I gave a 9.8, because I still think Winter Soldier is a better film by just a 0.8, but a 9.6 white pages near me plus is pretty fucking good. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say it's a 9.6 yellow label with signed by Stan fucking Lee. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I saw it Saturday, and I thought it was really good. I liked my main thing was, like I'm sure a lot of other people, I really wanted to see how they were going to do Spider-Man in it, and I thought it was bang on, awesome. Yeah, I agree. I agree with Tim. The first action scene in the beginning was very shaky cam, but I got through that, and I loved all the little quick comedy bits here and there, you know, like well, okay, yeah, we're spoiler free, so I don't want to say anything, but there's one in particular that involves a handshake, and I love that whole scene. It was amazing. So yeah, and yeah, I posted on Facebook. I definitely think this movie is worth probably a second, maybe even a third viewing. So I just liked it that much. So
yeah, yeah, definitely. What grade do you give it, Frank? What grade?
Yeah, I'd give it a 9.6 any day.
9.6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I seen it on Thursday night. I went at the 10 o'clock, 10:30 showing. So it was packed. I mean, everybody was. I had a great crowd, and you know, you get a little worried because everybody's talking through all the trailers and all that. I'm like, oh man, just shut the hell up on the. But when the movie came on, when that thing came down, the lights came down, and the movie just started, everybody shut the hell up. So thank you to the crowd that I went to that they shut the hell up through a movie. Thank you. And oh my God, wow, I was blown away. I agree with everybody that they said that I got worried with the shaky cam crap because I hate that crap. I think that's lazy filmmaking. I'm sorry. Just give a wide shot. Let us see what's going on. I don't need to have an aneurysm. All right, you know, especially watching it in 3D and everything. So I was a little bit worried. Okay, is all the action sequence going to be like? No, they're not. So if you could get first to that, you're fine. But it really didn't need that. But as for everything else, character development, especially the two characters, Spider-Man, Black Panther, you people will enjoy it. I don't know nothing about Black Panther. Remember, I'm the DC dude. And I haven't read anything Black Panther. Now I want to know everything about Black Panther. I thought he was awesome in it. That's just my personal thing.
Yeah.
I have a little quirks here and there, but I can't really go into it without giving away anything. So I would just say I was satisfied. I enjoyed it. I came out the way I came out watching Avengers, watching Dark Knight Returns, all those good films. That's how I came out feeling with this film, and you know, we all know how I felt about Batman vs Superman. So
no, don't break the internet. Don't break the internet. We just finally get back.
I'm not breaking the internet. I'm just gonna go. Warner Brothers, please take a note from this and learn from it, and don't fuck up the rest of the movies. That's all I'm saying. I give it a 9.4 CGC grade, and that's about it. And I'm cool with it.
So CGC is definitely that's top of the pick right there. So talking about 9.4 CGC. We haven't even heard anything from CBCS grade, which is great. So Jenna, you just recently watched it, not more than 2 or 3 hours ago, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
Point on what you thought of that.
Oh my gosh, it was just mind-blowing. I must say, I am a huge fan of Black Widow. Again, I'm not going to do any spoilers, but I feel like she really got into the maybe like martial arts school or something, and she's really worked on herself. She's only had 6 years to progress as a superhero, and I think they really made her look awesome and badass. Same with like what everybody else said, character development was just amazing, and I really got a lot more backstories from people, which we didn't before, and you kind of get connected with people, and there's some appearances and people that come in that are, you know, you didn't know that were going to come in, and I was really excited about that. It's hard not to spoil anything. I just really want to like spray all over you guys.
Wait a minute. Wait, what? Yes, I think we call it squirting on our end.
Man, this comic talk is over. I want to thank for everybody coming on.
There's no 14-year-olds on the panel on there.
This is NC-17.
Never allow on this group, okay? So
underage kids on this set.
Jeff Johnson, the name you can trust. What did you think, brother?
Well, just like Jenna, I just came back from watching the movie. That's why I'm late to the panel, and the movie was great. Yeah, there was everybody would expect was hyped for Spider-Man and Black Panther, which are both great characters. But what really got me going was the little tidbits, like Black Panther bodyguard and the jail and all that stuff. I was like, "Oh, I know that, and it just got me hyped." So, and Ant-Man. Ant-Man was really good in that movie.
Yes.
Jeff, I'm gonna have a question about his bodyguard. That's probably it. I think it's spoiler free. Was that his sister?
I don't think that was his sister. I think that was the bodyguard.
The bald-headed.
He's funny.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, she was scary. Let's just say.
Jeff
I
Johnson,
believe that was the
that is
bodyguard.
the name you can trust. The name, if he tells you that Civil War is on point, then that is the name you can trust, ladies and gentlemen. Lou, Hero Statue Collector, brother, did you get an opportunity to see Civil War yet?
You're damn straight. I saw it Friday in 3D, and I made sure to see it before the kids got out of school because I didn't want no screaming. But it was great. I loved it. I agree with Jenna. The fight scenes with Black are amazing. You can definitely tell she worked on it. And all of them, the fights with Bucky and Cap, both going at Iron Man, the way they timed everything. I mean, just spot on fight choreography. And it was entertaining from beginning to end for me. The only thing I would have liked is maybe a little better of a scene at the end, giving us a little more, after the credits.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was great. I liked it a drop less than Winter Soldier, so I agree I'd give it a 9.6. But a definite must-see.
Definitely must see. Thank you so much. Hero Statue Collector Lou, does that mean you're going to get yourself a little Black Panther 1/6 scale or 1/4 scale or anything?
I'm hoping they do a quarter scale of him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I definitely want Sideshow to do a Winter Soldier, damn it.
That would be nice. Ryan, Darkside Jedi, brother. Ryan Reynolds himself could not even compare to you, man.
No.
Hey,
No.
Darkside Jedi, Civil War, man.
Well, if you want to see my Civil War or hear my Civil War review, you can go to the Lords of the Long Box website and see our new featured presentation of Lords of the Box Office. So there's a little plug for you, Tim. No, but seriously.
Before you go
Seriously,
on,
though.
just hearing you talk, I could fall asleep to your voice because it's
I
so
know, right?
I'm usually on the slow jazz station around midnights. If you want to catch my show.
Right.
This is Dr. Love coming at you with some smooth jazz.
Will you read me a bedtime story?
I will. I'll start doing bedtime stories.
Perfect.
Anything.
I'm going to touch myself while you talk.
Now people are going to rent you out. Like, read me my comics to me? Read my comics.
Right.
Whoa. All right, everybody, calm down.
Okay, so Civil War. I really, really, really liked it. I would in fact say loved it. It's my top Marvel movie pick of all of them. Winter Soldier was my first, and this edged it out for sure. Like Tim said, I was a little bit, you can go make a phone call, go to the bathroom, refill your pop. That's for King of the Golden State. And,
It's soda.
yeah, soda. Or Coke in Texas. Everything's a Coke in Texas, right, Tim? I mean, right, Marty?
Yes.
Everything's
What kind of Coke?
Or Coke, whatever. Yeah.
Well, what kind of Coke do you want? I want a 7-Up. So, so the beginning, action-packed. The rest of the first act, kind of dragged, but I mean, I guess they had to do that, right? That's where you kind of set up the story. Middle of the second act, airport scene, boom, it didn't stop. It didn't stop from that point forward, and I really, really enjoyed it. Spider-Man for me he stole the show, 100%. I am really looking forward to that Spider-Man movie, and you know, who knows, maybe. Tony Stark and Aunt May might be getting something going on. We'll have to see.
I only wish I could have met Aunt May. Got something going on with Aunt May, of course, because even Tony Stark made that reference that, you know, not a bad-looking aunt right there.
No,
not at
all.
I like when he did that. I like when I don't want to talk about it, but I like when he did that.
White elephant in the room, and he finally just, like, you know, showed it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be like Star Wars. Pete, I am.
Let me ask anybody else this, because I actually saw Winter Soldier right before I saw, the night before I saw Civil War, I saw Winter Soldier, and like 2 days before that, I think FX was showing like all the fucking Marvel movies, right? Yeah. So I got a chance to see the first Avenger as well. So what's really interesting, which I don't know anybody else caught, is Captain America's fighting style has evolved over the first 2 films. The first movie was to very little martial arts, very just kind of boxing. Winter Soldier, full-on parkour. He's running through fucking doorways. Third one, much more evolved. He's got some jujitsu, some fucking judo. It's like the characters evolve as he has thawed out, for lack of a better word, into the modern age. So has his fighting style. I mean, that's what's really cool, how the Russos really, like, they don't come out and just say it like, oh, here's a training montage to show that he's up to age with the fighting techniques. No, they just showed it on film, and it just progresses. That's why the Russo brothers have my utmost fucking confidence to do whatever they want to do. I'm putting my money down to see a Russo brothers directed Squirrel Girl movie. That's how fucking confident I am.
Yeah.
Well, look at this.
The way Russo brothers are going right now with what they've done. Oh my God, dude. I mean, and later on we'll talk about talking points. If we don't hit it on this show, we'll hit it on the next show. But Russo brothers for Infinity War, Captain Marvel. I mean, I think they even made a little
Justice League
flip about Captain Marvel being on the on a cameo for the next in the Infinity War. Yeah, so I think anything Russo brothers.
They have to introduce her eventually because her film is on the slate, and I don't know if anybody else, but this is probably one of the few Marvel movies where maybe I need to watch it again, but I didn't really see any nod, wink, wink Easter eggs throughout the entire film. Whatever was there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I think there was one, and this may be a huge stretch, but a certain Secretary of Defense was in charge of a prison. And that prison holds, or is going to hold, supervillains.
Well, now, the raft. It's in the trailer, right?
Right,
You're talking about the raft? Yeah,
right, the raft. So if he is in charge of that prison and Suicide Squad does well, why wouldn't Marvel do a Thunderbolts movie?
Thunderbolts, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
let me type in.
2 different prisons, though. You got the prisons that hold Suicide Squad, and you got the prisons that the Secretary of Defense hold for certain. I don't know if they want.
It's
heroes.
Two different publications, Marty.
What is it?
What I'm saying is that who?
Zemo, isn't he the leader of the Thunderbolts originally?
Was he? I don't know.
Yeah, he was Citizen V. That was his name, I believe.
Mm-hmm. So there you
go. There you go. So what is it? Hulk 455? Go get that book right now.
Let me pipe in what I thought about Civil War because nobody asked me, but I showed up.
I was about to come to you, Trevor, but then of course.
I know.
Then be the worst of the round table. Let's take over comic talk.
Anyways,
what did you think about Civil War, brother?
You know what? Civil War made me extremely sad. And the reason it made me sad is because I'm a DC guy. I am a huge DC guy. And Civil War was so good.
Yes, it was.
And Batman Superman was not. And I mean,
Yes, it was.
I never see DC getting to the level of something like a Civil War is a movie that's essentially a masterpiece in its genre, whereas Batman Superman was, you know, it was Saw 7. Like, it was terrible.
Yeah, it was something.
That's my take.
Marty, I don't know if you have it as a talking point. We have enough time. If we could talk about the Ben Affleck story that came out.
Oh yeah,
that's actually on one of my talking points right there. But we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and address that right now since you went ahead and brought it up. As you guys know, I don't know if you guys saw some of the reviews, but Ben Affleck was very disappointed about how the Batman versus Superman had brought on, and so he has a long-standing part when it comes to the Batman movie that's coming out. They're supposed to have a lot of supervillains in there as well. But besides that, Tim, go ahead, brother. I mean, address that issue, man.
I'm glad that somebody from DC Warner Brothers is fucking pissed off, as rightly they should be. And I don't know if you guys ever seen it. It's called BatmanTheMovie.com. He's a total Batman DC mark, right? And he posts everything. His Poe movie. He said Batman vs Superman was excellent, this and that. So he posted this article, and there was all the fanboys in there arguing about it. And I was like, you know what? I'm glad a serious filmmaker like Ben Affleck, an actor who's got probably the best resume on the DC cinematic side of the universe. Whatever Zack Snyder's done, like I've always said, the only success he's had when he's taken somebody else's source material and taken it splash page for splash page and put it on the screen. You can say it with 300 and The Watchmen. Sucker Punch, horrible fucking movie. It's a series of video game animation and without any talking. So I'm glad that Ben Affleck said, you know what? I'm pissed that this movie turned out so bad. He was quoted saying, I had to go on press junkets and tell people that this was a good movie, and what I saw, I did not like. When Zack Snyder, the fucking smug prick that he is, was coming out telling everybody, oh, well, you know, him and Superman and Gal Gadot, oh, well, we make movies for fans, not critics. No, fuck you. You didn't make it for either. I'm glad Ben Affleck got pissed off, so he's like, you know what? Let me get more control. I know what the fuck I'm doing. I am a lifelong Batman fan. Let me take the reins of this and let me take control of this, because somebody has to. Because right now, they let Zack Snyder do what he did, and whoever you want to believe, Warner Brothers stepped in at the last minute and said, this movie is really shit. You need to cut it out. And Zack Snyder's saying, well, my movie's supposed to be 4 hours long. No. Okay, I want it to be 3 hours long. No. Okay, well, fuck you. Here's a 2.5 hour cut of it. And for the most part, it left people dissatisfied, right? When all of us said that one of our complaints about Civil War was, we wish we saw more of it, right? Batman vs. Superman, we're thinking, man, there's like 30 minutes of this movie that's sitting somewhere that we don't know that could make this a better movie or may not. But nobody from Warner Brothers, Zack Snyder hasn't come out and said, has owned up to it and said, you know what, we'll try better next time. They just say, hey, we're going to give you guys an R-rated cut to make you happy.
Well, I think the story's there, Tim, and unfortunately it wasn't executed. Okay? So...
Ryan, back up your mic.
You're back. Yeah.
Is that bad? Sorry.
Yeah, something, you got some reverb or something.
Okay, well...
Satanic robot.
Yeah,
is that better? Is that better?
No.
Lean back off the mic.
I'm off. I'm like...
No. When you're talking into it, you're getting some, I don't know, some, like,
some static.
I am going to possess you all.
Is that better?
You're like Megatron does and shit.
Yeah.
Is this better?
Turn the mic off and on.
Deal with it.
See, that's how good Lords of the Round Table works together. We could just kind of just go off and tilt it like that.
While Tim Ryan fixes his mic. I read the article, and you know I am a big DC guy. I mean, there's no question about it. I broke the internet last weekend. So my feeling about that is like, yeah, I'm with Tim. Thank God he had it to say something. But the thing that really got to me, and it said the part that when they were negotiating of him doing the Batman film, and he was still in the middle of negotiations, they came out and announced it, and he was ticked off of that. And with everything that's gone on, now he's got creative producer on the Justice League film. So that's just telling me he stormed in this damn office and said what I've been trying to say, Warner Brothers, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like I am passionate. I know Batman. I don't want to fuck up this shit.
He's
so
a good
please
director.
Don't fuck it up.
He's a good director.
And it's just, that's what got to me. Now, if this story is true, if the article is true, I'm happy that he did it. If it's just anything else, I have no idea. But you know what? I would have been the same way. If I was if I had the caliber and the directing chops, hello, I won an Academy fucking award, so I know what I'm doing. And yeah, you're damn right I'm going to be mad because the marketing was horrible. They gave away too much in the trailer. I mean, it's just like, who the hell said, oh yeah, we're going to go with that? And DC just sits back and not says anything about their properties that they want to get this new universe going. It just kills me. That's why I say it is Warner Brothers doing this stuff, and they're just throwing all these other people into it, and nobody's stepping up and just telling Warner Brothers, go fuck yourself. These are our properties, and we need to get this. This is why Marvel works. They said, fuck you guys. We're going to make our own goddamn films, and you're going to follow to us. We ain't going to cater to you. You got to follow to us. We know our properties.
Mark, here's the thing. The ideas for Batman versus Superman, and this might be what Ryan was trying to touch on. There were ideas there that were extremely interesting that could have played out. It could have played out well. It didn't play out well because you have a bad director. And you had possibly some script interference and whatnot, but there were definitely ideas there that could have made Batman vs. Superman a really enjoyable film, but you did not have the team behind the camera to actually make it happen. And with Ben Affleck coming in, I think, have you seen Argo or The Town or any of that stuff? Like, great.
He's good. Yeah, especially very good. The Town was really good.
Yeah. Can I ask everybody here one thing? Do you think that they should not have done? I mean, we all seen the films. They're nothing getting spoiled here. If you haven't seen it, screw you people. Turn your ears off. I don't care. Do you think they should have done the death of Superman and should have put in Doomsday in that fucking film? I said no fucking way. They went too early. They blew their load.
No, see, here's the problem. I said this again. I'll say so many times. I'm saying it again. DC is trying to play catch up with Marvel, which I think is all wrong. DC's like, okay, you know what? Marvel got their own thing. Let us tell our story. Let us take our time and tell our story. Let's not try to catch up and throw out the Justice League because they got the Avengers. They should have took their time, told their story, and it would have been right. Like, look at Dawn of Justice. You got two movies in that one movie.
There are like 4 movies in that movie.
Yeah. The spirit of fucking destiny. Anyway.
What is our second?
Ryan had something.
Oh, go ahead, Ryan. My apologies.
No, we don't hear you, Ryan. Uh-oh.
Go ahead. Our second talking points right here.
We were talking. Our second one is Free Comic Book Day was yesterday. So we were going to go over what people got and how they felt about it.
Rob.
Well, let me go with this first. Free Comic Book Day. A lot of, I think there was like maybe 50 comic books or so, give or take, that came out. A couple key issues that possibly key issues. Anybody have any insight of probably what could be hot, what could be hot?
ROM #1, easily the best, first new issue of ROM to ever come out. Civil War, I believe, was introducing a new character. I mean, over the last 5 years, all of my Free Comic Book Day books have all been toss-aways. I mean, there's maybe one, the Infinity one, that has a first appearance of Corvus Clave or some shit. But outside of that, I mean, they're all. I mean, there was a Bruce Lee Free Comic Book Day that was gone.
I didn't get a chance to get that.
I didn't get a chance to get that either. It was like. Because when I got to my stores, dude, there was a line around the building. What was cool though, I spent like $200 because they all had like 25% off back issues. So I went to town on Walmart.
Oh shit, we had 50% off.
50% off, and I had quarter friggin' boxes. Each comic was a quarter. I got stacks, buddy.
I went to 2 shops, and one place was half price on their bins, and the other place was 60% off on like Bronze Age, Silver Age stuff. So.
I noticed that, and I hung out my LCS for a while. Great LCS. I love the guy. His name is Earl Sid, and they have a store here in Killeen called American Heroes Comics and Games. And one thing I noticed that guys were going in there, they were getting nothing but the free comic books. But to me, I just felt like, okay, I wanted to give something back to the LCS as well.
Yeah.
So besides getting the free comic books, I also took advantage of some of the flash sales they had, bought a couple books that I wanted just to get back to the LCSs. I mean, your opinions on that?
I did the same thing, too. I mean, I got the free comic books and stuff. I'm like, you know what? Not a lot of people know this, but the comic store, your LCS, pay for those comics you're taking for free. Yeah, so I was like, you know what? Since I'm taking all these comics, let me get some supplies. So I just stacked up on bags and boards. So.
My LCS told me for all of those free comic books that came out, they were given away, they spent up to $600 to $700 on all those books just for free comic books.
But you know, it's something that the community or the hobby that we participate in is very rare in any other community hobby or thing, right? I mean, there's no free tattoo day all over tattoo parlors.
That's right.
You know, there's no free fucking beer day at your local liquor store. You know what I mean? I mean,
I wish.
What I'm saying is,
preach it.
A lot of people bring their kids in because there's there's books for kids. So it's good because they get them to read a story for free, and potentially it's like a drug dealer, right? Give away a free sample and he comes back for more. He needs that hit. You know what I mean? So it's good that they get all the foot traffic in because they know it's retail 101. You get that person in the store, they are gonna buy something, right? If they get a couple free comics, they go, oh well, look at that. Hey, I like this. Or the best case scenario is you got yourself a new customer and he comes back every Wednesday now because he liked that free book that he read on New Comic Book or Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah.
You know, well, people don't realize about local LCS's comic books that they think, oh, they have all these comic books. They may have wall books that they're selling for $200-300, but they don't understand that how hard it is to run a comic book store, and a lot of the variants that we want that they have to order. Based off of regular covers that they have to order in order to get for a certain variant.
Yeah, 1,000 or 2,000 copies.
Yeah,
well,
I mean, ridiculous. They don't realize how hard it is, and that we take this for granted. That we go into these local comic book stores to say, "Well, why don't you have this?" or "Why don't you have that?" And I think Tim, you did an interview with one of your LCS's, Lords of the Round Table, one of the earlier.
So I did it with two comic shop owners. The owner of Nuclear Comics and Skate in Lake Forest, my buddy Kenny, and of course the big to-do everybody knows of YouTube. And I hung out with them, and they'll tell you that you have, not so much on the DC side, but on the Marvel side, it's very interesting. They have a tiered way of ordering to get variants. So let's say if there's a Captain Marvel #1 variant, 1 in 100 that comes out, you have to get that variant, you have to order 125% of your previous order, and it may not even have to be a Captain Marvel book. It could be a totally irrelevant title. It could be an Avengers title. You have to order basically 125 copies if you ordered only 100 copies a month before that to get the special variant. So I mean, that's kind of the tricky side, and that's why Marvel does so many variants, and that's why a lot of us collectors are kind of variant hunters, or kind of you go nutso. We spend more than we should, and to be honest with you, in 6 months it's going to be like a $5-10 book. Very rarely do variants hold their value. So that's a little hint from Uncle Tim. Don't go if you're going to flip it. Better flip that bitch the same day. If you're going to hold on to it because you like the cover art. Don't hold on to it as a long-term investment. There are exceptions, every variant, every now and then, but for the most part, they lose their value over time.
Yeah.
Guys, support your local comic book stores because they work hard to get you what you want, to get you updated on all these wonderful comics that we have. So, support your local. It's not about what you can go. Build a rapport with a lot of the your local comic book stores that that are out there trying to get you everything. You know, yeah, it is business. I got it. But nevertheless, it's still a hobby. It's still something that we love to do.
Martin, let me tell you a funny story about New Comic Book Day. So me and my buddy Bobby Wolverine, we went all the way down to Kenny's shop, and he had like literally 100 long boxes that were, all the comics were $1 each. So, you know, people were walking out like $200 worth of books, right? And this one kid, he grabs a $1 book and he goes, "Hey, this has water damage. Can I get it discounted?" I was like, "It's $1 fucking comic already, man. What are there?" I was just cracking up, man.
There's always somebody.
I had one of my shops do 25 cents, and literally, I mean, they were beat up or maybe had dings or whatever. I mean, I've been showing the books that I got. These all cost me 25 cents each.
I'll press them for you, Marky.
Oh yeah, I got something for you to press actually.
King of the Golden State, welcome to Comic Talk. Great just great to have you on, brother. Hey, go ahead and introduce yourself and whatever input you want to throw in there, brother.
Hey, what's up, everyone? King of the Golden State from Oakland, California, and I figured I'd jump in here and talk, you know, just shoot the shit with you guys for a little bit, you know, before I start watching Game of Thrones. So, you know, and plus, I went back to the comic shop and picked up a shitload more stuff. Like, they had like a weekend sale going on, man, where it's like a lot of their wall books was like 35% off. Yeah. And a lot of books I had, a lot of the books in the bin, man, were like $1 for each book. So it was pretty cool. So I loaded up another.
You're kind of on the back end of the show right now, and my apologies on that. Hopefully we can have you on next weekend on the beginning of the show and throughout the show. But I just want to kind of throw you in there, just you know, so you can just have some FaceTime, because I've noticed that you've commented on a lot of our videos and you're very active within the Comic Book Fanatics Facebook. So I just, you know, just my way of just kind of.
He's probably the tallest motherfucking comic book collector.
Yeah.
James is like 6'9" and shit.
So let me.
6'11"?
Yeah,
6'11".
Yes,
I hit my head a lot of times.
You've got some amazing original sketches that I'm very jealous about, by the way. So I will tell you, you got some gorgeous. Maybe next show you'll be able to kind of grace us with some of those the artworks that you got, man.
Hey, man, no big deal, man. I figured I'd drop in and say what's up. You know, just
no. Stay as long as we're on, brother. By all means. But Jenna. We probably have an opportunity to do one or two more talking points that I had on the list. So pick your choice, Jenna, whatever you want to talk about, and we're going to go ahead and finish off with final thoughts and shout outs. But let's do two more talking points and see what we have on here.
No pressure at all, Jenna. No pressure at all.
I know. That's so sad, because there's like 10 points that he put on here, and we only did 2, and now I got to pick one.
Hey, this is called an interview for a job.
Well, you know, we have there's so much going on this week, and there's so much talking points. You know, I mean, there's
Power Rangers,
Young Solo. There's also the new Power Rangers. I think so. So,
hey, I got an idea. Let's talk about Supergirl and the mismanagement.
No.
Oh, that's right. It's the
Wait a minute. Let me get this ready.
Go ahead, Jenna. Take your pick.
So
Supergirl's so lame, Tim.
What?
I signed the petition to keep it.
Wow.
Marty, it's not too late to replace you, Marty. It's not too late to replace you.
Not lame.
No.
It's not too late to replace her. Is that what you said?
Yeah, but no, this ties into our earlier conversation, because I'm segueing. We're saying how well Marvel does with its properties and how DC perhaps has a disconnect with Warner Brothers, but now it seems like, okay, so the news was CBS is saying, due to budgetary constraints or restraints or not enough money, that they're either going to kick CBS off the air altogether or downgrade them off to CW. And you guys may think that's fine, but if it goes to the CW, that also means production budgets drop as well.
We're not going to have those cool fighting scenes.
Yeah, so the thing Supergirl has is a CBS budget. Now, do we want a Supergirl on the CW with a fucking Green Arrow budget? I don't know if I want that. I mean, I thought Supergirl was fine for what it was, man. It was a fun little show. I mean, she was really cool as Supergirl. There was some pretty good action scenes, and I wish, for the young girls that have a female show, for the teenage girls or young teenage boppers, because it's very girl empowering, right? I mean, maybe not for grown ass women, but if you're like a 13-year-old girl and you like superheroes and comic books, I thought Supergirl is a perfect thing. And then there's guys like us who are just trying to look up her skirt every episode. So I mean,
Guilty.
Jenna, do you think it's for a female, fan? Do you think it's empowering for a female being Supergirl? Do you think it's just switch to CW? How do you feel about it overall? I mean, you mentioned earlier it was kind of lame, but what's your overall viewpoint on that?
For me personally, I actually think it is very empowering. I do go with Tim. I did watch a couple of episodes, and if I was a little bit younger, that would be one person I would look up to as a superhero or just a TV show in general. For me personally, to chalk it up with like Arrow and The Flash and Daredevil, it did not make any mark in my book. That's not going to be one that I'm going to go sit and watch and be like, oh, I got to go finish all the episodes. It'd be one that I would trickle in waiting for my other ones.
Well, the same can be said for this season of Arrow. It's like, I'll get to it, whatever, because it's not that good.
I think what ruined it for me for Arrow was Felicity, man. Was the whole relationship with Felicity, Arrow. I think that totally do it. And second season for me with Deathstroke in there and just them going at it, the fight scenes. It really brought on to me a whole different perspective of who Arrow was. But then when you start bringing in the relationship and the drama and everything that to me, I don't want to see any of that stuff. I want to see who Arrow is. I want to see the villains. I want to see the action, the fighting on that. I mean...
Yeah, definitely. I actually wished that Felicity died instead of the Black Canary.
Yeah, me too.
I wish they both died.
You know what? They gotta stop. They gotta get back to what Green Arrow was in that second season. They gotta stop this. I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying it still, but I'm not enjoying it as I used to. I think the Flash is fucking killing it. I just watched the latest episode, and I'm like, holy fuck, they're setting this shit up real good. Zoom,
Zoom's
incredible, and I am just enjoying the hell out of this. And you do have that little lovey-dovey, because they always have to put in a lovey-dovey stupid relation problem, but it works. It's not over dramatic. It doesn't interfere with the story. You don't have a 45-minute story about their friggin' problems with each other. No, they got the story, and they put a little tad here and a little tad, and they try to get it all together. I'm really liking what they're doing.
Does anybody think that Wally West had finally got the Flash?
Oh yeah, he's got
Jesse Quick.
I like
Jesse Quick.
They won't do anything with him this season with it though. He'll be in a coma for whatever. Next season is when he'll come on. But
well, let me ask you guys this question, real quick. Let me just. All right, you got Flash. He got Zoom. He got Reverse Flash. He got even King Shot. Who do you think they need to put in Arrow? What villain they need to put back in Arrow to bring it up?
Somebody who's not a Batman villain.
How do you top season 2 Deathstroke though? How do you that was a wicked good season.
Ra's al Ghul and Deathstroke were the best villains on it, and now the villain is his fucking romantic whatever with she should have stayed in the wheelchair and he just rolled that bitch off a building, to be honest.
I think they should go. I think they should go a different route. Instead of villains for Arrow, start introducing more superheroes into the mix, and then because Arrow is not a primary superhero. I think he is more of a superhero that is attached to other superheroes. He's not a standalone superhero, in my view. I think
he's an organic Batman, in my opinion.
Sure, absolutely. So I
we also
feel more superheroes in there.
Villain that they got this season. So I'm really liking the actor who plays Damien Dark. I mean, I just want. I'm curious to see where they're going with this now. That's why I keep on watching. I want to see how this season's going to end.
Look at Hawkeye in Civil War and how his arsenal has kind of upgraded and moved on. Do you remember? Okay, without giving away spoilers, you see how he set up Vision?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He just shoot and he just walked away and he goes, hey, we got a few minutes, we got to get the fuck out of here. So what I'm saying is, Arrow, his arsenal needs to be upgraded. I mean, bring the fucking goddamn punching fist Arrow. Get
I love Arrow.
The problem is he doesn't shoot arrows. He doesn't. He shoots like one arrow an episode.
Hey guys, compare Oliver North.
Oliver North.
I spoke the truth.
Compare Ollie of Arrow from what you see now to Ollie compared to what we saw in Smallville. What's a better Arrow?
Stephen Amell, Arrow.
Yeah.
Ollie now is way better. Beyond better. I mean,
but he needs to fire more arrows. There were 2 episodes ago. I don't think he fired a single arrow. The show's
what they should do, guys? And I'm going to throw it right out there. They need to bring in Green Lantern. They need to bring in Hal Jordan.
I agree.
They need to bring in that. They need to do the traveling hero story. What the fuck? They're keeping him on the fucking sidelines. Goddamn, do something with Green Lantern.
No, CW doesn't have a budget for a Green Lantern. You can't. You can do Hal Jordan. You can do Hal Jordan. You can't do Green Lantern.
You can't
do something.
That's just too much of a budget.
Jordan. I'm fine with Hal Jordan.
Jenna, let's move on. What is the next talking point we got right now? We can go on. So this is the one I want to hear about. The next talking point on the list. Go ahead, Jenna. And she's not talking. So the next talking point, if you guys haven't seen the latest news as far as Power Rangers, any Power Rangers fan out there?
Well, there's I don't know if he's in the chat now, but no, he left.
Frost left.
Frost. Sorry, buddy.
I think that's going to bring in more people. Do you think that's going to bring in more fans, more viewers? Because I'll be honest with you, it's not the cheesy 90s type of suit that you see in the Power Rangers. It's looking more like, okay, maybe
Iron Man. Yeah, Iron Man.
Tony Stark, guys.
It looks like Tony Stark lent out some suits over to the Power Ranger kids, and I don't know. Look, I don't know anything about Power Rangers. All I know is one of the people that I talked to in the Frost, Undisputed Frost, he's a huge Power Rangers fan, and I know he's spending time with his family right now. He would be the perfect person to be on this panel right now discussing this. But I know Brian just got his mic back, and I know he wanted to say a couple things. So, Brian, take my time and speak with your piece, man.
Power Rangers is later than when I came into the world, so I was already messing with girls by the time Power Rangers came out.
I was already rehab by the time Power Rangers came out. I have a little brother that's 16 years younger than me, so he grew up with all the toys and all the shit. It was his generation's Transformers were to us, right? So there is a whole generation of kids, probably in their late teens, maybe in their 20s now, that grew up watching it.
Yeah, I grew up.
And when they came home from school, right? I remember I would, my little brother would watch it coming home from school. He had to watch Power Rangers, and I laughed at it because it was originally some Japanese thing, right? All those weird cutscenes with the man in suit, right? That shit cracked me up. I thought it was kind of cheesy. And I think it'll do well because it's like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? It's not the Turtles we grew up with in the comics. It's the cartoon Turtles that people are seeing in these movies. And I think those properties really have nothing to do with the comic book properties. Power Rangers comics right now are hot as fuck. They are incredible now.
Look at the covers that just came out, Tim.
You know, $300 on some of those variants. It's crazy.
I just got a 9.8 back from CDC. 1 of 100 variant designed by Dustin Wynn, so go fucking Power Rangers movie.
I'll be honest, the only reason I watched Power Rangers was for Amy Jo Johnson.
Oh yeah. All right.
Didn't one of them just get
I think if they got to what we're getting
Yellow
right
Ranger.
now, then I think they can do awesome with a movie or a TV series with the Power Rangers with the new suits. I love the new suits. My personal opinion. I love the new suits. But if they can just make the storyline less 90s cheesy and make it a little bit more towards what the viewers are looking for nowadays, I think it,
I don't think you're getting anything close to adult. It's going to be like Turtles. It's made for a very specific demographic, and it's not for us. I mean, if you dig it, then that's cool, but you should expect a certain level of cheesiness to it. They're called Mighty Morphin fucking Power Rangers. How serious can you get, right? I mean, it's like if you look at Voltron, when the original cartoon came out, was still somewhat adult. That's why the new cartoon is somewhat adult. The original G.I. Joe cartoon, the original Transformers cartoon, was not like cartoons are nowadays. Look at, we were talking about when Ken was on, right? We were talking about Gotcha Man and Star Blazers and all these different properties that when we were growing up, let's face it, as kids, we were probably much more thick-skinned than they are now. The world is incredibly PC compared to cartoons we were watching where people actually die. Besides G.I. Joe, everybody parachuted out on G.I. Joe.
I'm just waiting for a Transor Z. Bring that into the comic book mix. And you probably don't even know what I'm talking about. Transor Z, remember that?
Oh, yeah. Transor Z, Mazinger 1, all those, dude.
I'm waiting for the GoBots. Bring the GoBots back.
Oh, what? No.
Bring the GoBots back.
Oh, that was
Shogun Warrior.
Movies, they can make shitty GoBot movies. They will be just the same shit. Don't worry about it.
Guys, I could not end the show with final thoughts and shout-outs unless I would be remiss to mention and ask you guys about thoughts and opinions about Alden Ehrenreich, confirmed as the young Solo, and they also talked about him having a cameo appearance in Rogue One. But your thoughts and opinions about this actor, and if you guys don't know who this actor is, he a couple of the movies that he appeared in was help me out here, Tim. I believe he was in The Dark Things or something within that nature. But if you guys don't know who he is, that he is the new young Solo that's supposed to be making an appearance and playing young Solo within the new Star Wars universe. So.
Let me throw some flowers on myself for a second. And my comic book pick of the week, back issue pick of the week, a couple of weeks ago, was Star Wars #2, which is the first appearance of Han Solo and Chewbacca. It's not Star Wars #1. Star Wars #2 is the first appearance of Han Solo. Go out and get that book. I just got 3 more copies. Yes.
Too late.
That is the first true appearance of Han Solo, and fuck yes, I want to see the goddamn Kessel Run done in fucking 12 parsecs. I want to see that shit. I guarantee you they will talk. This is the Han Solo prequel. This is, well, hopefully we'll get to see Chewbacca Chewbacca owes Han Solo a life debt. That's in the EU. That's why Chewbacca is Han's homie. Have you ever seen the movie Fanboys? They don't yell shotgun. They yell Chewie because that means you're ready shotgun. That's his co-pilot. That's his homie for life. I don't even talk about how pissed off it was that Chewie didn't get more emotional time when Han fucking died in The Force Awakens. But that's my Marky pissed off moment. I don't want to break the internet, but fuck yes. I mean, every Star Wars movie has alluded to the Kessel Run. Han dealing with Lando. How long got the Millennium Falcon from Lando? Maybe we'll see a fucking young Lando played by Kevin Hart. I don't know, but I'm down for it. I want to see it.
I'll be up for that.
All right, go ahead, Trevor. Your thoughts on that, the young Solo?
Honestly, I don't know much about him, but just from the pictures, I think he looks like a rugged smuggler. So take that for what it's worth. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, a rugged scoundrel. There you go.
There you go. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm excited for any of these Star Wars spin-off movies. We'll see what happens. I mean, you can't.
They can make a spin-off of R2 fucking D2, and I'll go goddamn see it. I won't go see that in a fucking park.
Rick the Man Castle. Go ahead. Your thoughts and opinions.
I just say we'll see what happens. Yeah. I don't have any negative thought or anything, so it's Star Wars, man. So
Star Wars, I I would be remiss if I didn't ask about Star Wars, man, because I am a big Star Wars fan. Marky, go ahead, man.
Oh, I just said it. Unless I broke up, probably I did. I said I don't care what they do. They can make a R2D2 movie for all I give a shit.
You kind of cut Frank off, man. It's okay.
okay.
King of the Golden State, go ahead, brother, man.
All right.
You know what? I mean, we're all going to see it regardless of who they pick. And, you know what? He doesn't look like Harrison Ford. I mean, there's talk about him possibly being like, you know, also like Indiana Jones, just because he got the part of Han Solo. But, you know, we're all going to see it anyway, regardless. I mean, I'm going to see it. I mean, who's going to boycott seeing a Han Solo pick? I mean, really.
Yeah. The play on words is going to drive us nuts for the next couple of years. When we say the Han Solo film, the Solo project about Han Solo, we're going to go all solo out.
The Han Solo Star Wars story.
Yeah,
no.
No.
Yeah, he was in the Coen Brothers movie called Hail Caesar, and it's like a movie no one saw. So, I mean,
I think the idea was to probably pull someone who no one knew. I mean, I don't think they wanted to get a new, you know, an actor that was super famous.
Not only that, I think, you know, Ryan, that the fact that I trust Disney with their cast, because they've been doing wonderful so far when it came to Star Wars movies. So if they say that this individual, this person, you know, is going to be Han Solo, then okay, he's going to be Han Solo. So.
But I will say I don't envy the guy because that is a big role. You know what I mean? That's huge shoes to fill. But a lot of people are going to be waiting for a fuck up or something. You know how people are.
But you know what? This is different from, let's say you're portraying another James Bond or a literary fictional character that has a prior history. Ewan McGregor proved it in the prequels, right? He nailed Sir Alec Guinness's character because he had reference to go off of. This kid has 3 Star Wars movies to nail the young Han Solo down, right? Because Ewan McGregor, my God, he sounded just like Alec Guinness. So, you know, granted, it's a bit opposite, right? Well, no, it's the exact same. There was an old Alec Guinness, and then you had Ewan McGregor playing a young Obi-Wan. So it's the exact same thing. And I think now he has all this footage, and footage we perhaps haven't seen of Harrison. I was going to say Harrison Barnes. I was going to say Harrison Barnes.
Ford.
I'm sorry. I'm still upset about the loss yesterday, man. Fucking Harrison Barnes didn't do shit.
Hey, calm down. It's all good.
We lost so we could win it back in Oakland. But anyway, so we have all the footage of Harrison Ford to get his mannerisms down because Harrison Ford is not a method actor. Harrison Ford is Harrison Ford in pretty much every movie he's in. Harrison Ford. Okay, so Han Solo, Indiana Jones. Kind of the same character. He's not a method actor. He doesn't really do accents. He doesn't really change things up. So I think in that respect, if he's a good enough actor, he can get the chops down and his mannerisms down. Like Alec Guinness was easy, I think, because he had a certain gravitas and accent. Just like if you were to play, if they got an actor and said, we need a new Darth Vader. Well, James Earl Jones is one of the most impersonated voices ever, right? So I think, the kid, you got to be a really bad actor to not be able to study hours and hours of somebody who's already portrayed a character.
Well, they have voiceovers that can do that too. You know what I mean? Like all you got to do is have a guy on mask.
I know you've got to take off. You've got an engagement party to go to, and you've got like the whole lovey-dovey thing going on with your family. So we're gonna close you out, sweetie. Go ahead and say what you gotta say.
Mom, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Yes, my mom is super loud. She's over there.
I need a AAA number.
Oh my God.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I'm sorry.
AAA.
I have to go. I'm so sorry.
Someone cut off Mom.
Mom is having a few mimosas today.
You know what? Mom deserves. Every mom deserves to have a mimosa here.
It is Mother's Day.
Yeah,
Mom, you deserve to drink when you have to deal with your daughter all day long. So go ahead and have it.
That's right.
Yeah, so I love you all. I'm going to go take care of her now because she's super drunk.
Awesome.
It's her day. Let her have her fun.
I love you guys.
Take care, Jenna. Take care. The Jeff Johnson, the name you can trust. Vote for Jeff Johnson for mayor. What are your thoughts and opinions on the young Han Solo, man?
I'm like Tim. I really don't care who they have, as long as they tell the story of how he got the Millennium Falcon and the 12 parsecs and all that, and him and Chewie. I'll be happy with that.
That's all they talked about. I mean, every Star Wars movie that they've ever mentioned was Han doing the
Castle Run.
The Castle Run in 12 parsecs. I mean, come on, it's about time we saw that. You know what I mean?
Oh,
have you guys ever heard
with Jabba? How he got in trouble with Jabba?
Have you guys ever heard?
And
you guys
Jabba.
ever heard Neil deGrasse Tyson complaints about parsecs? Which is, he really he's fucking with people for the most part, but he keeps on telling people parsecs is a measurement of it's not a measurement of time, but it's a measurement of
it's a measurement of time, not a measurement of speed.
Exactly.
Or something like that. Yeah. All right. Lou, Hero Facts Collector, man, go ahead. Your thoughts and opinions about the young Solo, man.
Oh, he's on mute.
He's on
his phone. He's on for Ryan.
Dark Side Jedi, man.
Dark Side Jedi. The one thing I want to see of this whole movie is how Chewie and Han Solo meet. Like that first meeting. Supposedly Han Solo saved him from a slave encampment, and it was a life debt. That's what I want to see. So that's it.
I want to see like a fucking Star Wars version of Thelma and Louise where they just go straight fucking. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it.
Yeah. Right off the cliff. Well, we have hit the part of our show where we do final thoughts and shout outs. We'll end the show where it's at right now. Tim, we'll start with you, brother. Final thoughts and shout outs, man, and then we'll go down the line and we'll go ahead and cut the show off, man.
And then say, stay in your lane and kick rocks.
Awesome, brother. Thanks for coming on. It's always awesome to have you. If you guys don't know, myself, Tim, Ryan, and also James the Collector, we do a show on Thursdays, which is called Lords of the Round Table, and where we talk a little bit more. It's a little bit more structured show. We talk a little bit about Market Watch. We talk about a little bit more of a TV and movie comic news. And it's a little bit more informative, whereas this show is more of kind of a shoot the shit and hang out kind of a thing. But I think it's a really great format, so check that out. Thursday nights, Ryan did an awesome job of setting up the whole 4-panel type of thing we got going on. I'll let you mention that when we get down to you, Ryan, but just a shout out to you. All right, Trevor, final thoughts and shout outs for you, brother.
Well, thanks for having me on. Sorry I was late. Awesome that Ken came back on. I mean, it's great to see that kind of stuff on the show. Shout outs, I don't know, all you guys. How about that? There you go. Great show, guys.
Awesome, Trevor. Thank you so much for coming on. I know you were busy with the family stuff going on, but all right. Frank Castle, the Punisher. Go ahead, brother. Frank. You're up, brother.
I apologize if I break up or anything. Oh. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
we're patient.
You're a robot.
Yes, Lord Megatron.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Megatron!
Oh. You're cutting off, little brother. You're cutting off, little brother.
And it looked like you froze it.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's so shy.
Frank, why don't you just turn off, seriously, turn off your camera, seriously, shut down the camera, then talk, because maybe that's your bandwidth is fucked up, dude.
His bandwidth sucks, yeah.
That's what happens when you steal people's Wi-Fi.
Okay, is it better?
I think it's time for a new AOL CD, brother.
We'll come. I tell you what, Frank, we'll come back to you. Hopefully, your bandwidth will catch up with what we got going on. We'll go down to Marky. Marky, final thoughts and shout outs to you, brother.
Well, final thoughts and shout-outs. First, I want to thank Tin for letting me on Lords of the Lawn Table again. I had a great show. And, I'm sorry.
Hey, Mark,
I'm only
Marky, fuck you, man. Okay? Fuck you. How's that?
That's good, Marty. Beat you to it.
All good and fun. All good and fun. All good. But anyway, seriously, shout-outs to everybody in the chat. God, too many to name. You know who the hell you are out there. I've been chatting with you a little. Everybody on the panel. All mothers around who are watching. Happy Mother's Day. And, hell, just collect comics and love what you collect, dude. That's all.
Awesome, brother. We'll go back to Frank. Frank, go ahead, brother.
Yay.
Final shout-outs.
Okay. First off, thanks for having me and putting up with me.
Do you want to play a game?
Oh, sorry guys. I'm very sorry about this.
Don't be sorry, bro.
I want to give a big shout out to once again all the ladies of the Female Fanatics Force. I also want to give a shout out to AG Surfer, and yeah, just thanks for putting up with all the nonsense coming from my end here.
It's all good, Frank. Thank you for joining us once again. It's awesome to have you as always, brother. You know, just people. I love the fact that we have people that are, you know, like Marky and Frank and, you know, Lou. The guys are just that come on and are just really devoted to making this comic talk what it is. So thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. And we'll go with King of the Golden State. Final thoughts and shout-outs for you, man.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I just want to first of all say thank you for inviting me in. You know, even if it's for a short time, no big deal. Maybe next week. But yeah, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be sitting here in front of this screen anyway, just shooting the shit with you guys. I just want to say Happy Mother's Day, the mothers out there, and if you haven't seen Civil War, please go see Captain America: Civil War so we can all talk about it. That'd be awesome.
Awesome, brother. Hey, well, what's your first name, by the way, so we can call you by your first name instead of King of the Golden State?
James.
James. Oh, great to have you. We hope to have you on next weekend, man. You know, just to have you a little bit more FaceTime and a little bit more of your knowledge on the comic books, because I see you on the Facebook page and a lot of your posts and a lot of your feedback and everything. Awesome. Really great to have you on there, man. So, by all means, if you have nothing to do next weekend, man, you are definitely welcome on Comic Talk once again, man.
Yeah, man, just invite me. I'm free.
Awesome. And we got Jeff Johnson, the name you can trust. Go ahead, brother.
First of all, I like to thank everybody on the panel and in the chat room. Thanks, Marty, for bringing me on the show. Sorry I was late, but I was watching Civil War, so that's my excuse.
Good excuse.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody, and I'd like to give a shout out to my comic book store, The Spiderweb, for hooking me up on Free Comic Book Day. And just support your local comics. That's it. Support your LCS.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you so much. Lou, Hero Statue Collector Lou.
Well, the first thing I want to say is shout out to all the mothers. Without them, we wouldn't be here to do this show. So, awesome time. Absolutely love being on your show, brother. Actually, the more I'm here, the more I'm starting to love this community, more even so than the statue.
Oh, shit, someone is getting a statue.
No, don't say that, man. Don't say that.
All your statue guys are just going, that mother said.
Oh, my goodness, Lou. You guys heard it on Comic Talk episode 27.1.
Nah,
He's
man,
gonna find
an
Optimus Prime statue way somewhere in a crevice.
Real, bro. There's a lot. Lately, for some reason, there's been a lot of drama on there, and it's getting disheartening. But hopefully we'll get...
statues harder than mine? I mean, how hard is it going to be in statues?
We'll get
I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
We'll get it back together, I think. But a little too much backstabbing, I think, lately. But Besides all of that, the good stuff is I just happened to finish a deal. That's why I had muted my mic for a little while. But so I'm getting a new piece that I've been after for a while. So that's good. But definitely wanted to shout out a guy I just subscribed to. I've been watching him for a couple of weeks now. J Punish 7. Really cool guy. I love his reviews, and he's really nice. He's always leaving good comments. And definitely hope you guys could join and be on some of our shows, because we could use some new faces on the Collectors Chat. So anyone's welcome. We'd love to have you.
Send me an invite next week, Lou. I'm free. I'd love to come on the show once again, man.
Very cool. We need a little more positiveness.
Thanks a lot, Lou. Ryan, Darkside Jedi, final thoughts and shout-outs from you, brother.
Well, final thoughts. Thank you for having me. Of course, I get to see you twice a week now. Maybe it's amazing. I don't know what to do with that.
You know you love it.
I love it. I will admit it. 100%. I love it. You know, we have a good rapport. It's all in fun. You know that. All bullshit aside, it's fantastic. You know, join us with Tim, myself, Marty, and James, the collector. We do our weekly little deal on Lords of the Long Box channel, Lords of the Round Table. We're also trying to get going a Lords of the Box Office. We're going to talk about movie reviews and whatnot. And everything else we have going on YouTube and Instagram. So this, like everybody said, this is so much fun. We all love what we love. Comic books, statues, talking shit. It's great. So there's no other place where I'd rather be. So thank you for having me, man.
Awesome, Ryan. Thank you so much. You guys don't know, Ryan, you guys probably hear it a lot. Ryan, myself, and Tim, we always talk shit to each other. We're always offline text messaging each other, and we give each other shit. But it's all in good fun. It's all in good rapport. We have a great rapport with each other when it comes to what we do. And but nevertheless, when we do come together on Lords of the Round Table, we do talk serious stuff. We talk about reviews. We talk about upcoming movies, comic books, things like that. So it's definitely a good show, and it's a very professional show. So I definitely recommend it. It's all in good fun, and we like I said, myself and Ryan, we always talk shit to each other, and we also have special guests on there. I think we had Marky on there at one time. We had Big E's on there at one time.
Yep.
So, you know, we always have special guests on there as well. Guys, I could not begin to tell you how wonderful an episode it was. My apologies that this had to be broken up into 2 live streams because, unfortunately, we had got cut off, I guess, on the very first one. And
I am innocent on that one.
Well, you know, it's not. I don't think
it's because we're popular. The show is becoming big.
But thank you so much for all the panel members here that making Comic Talk episode number 27 what it is. Thank you for Ken Lashley for coming on and gracing us with his presence and answering all the questions and answers. Thank you for all the people that were in the group chat for asking the questions. Just my apologies if we cannot get to your questions right away or this episode. But, well, you know what? We have plenty more because guess what? Comic Talk is not going anywhere. The more we do Comic Talk, the bigger it's going to get, the more fun we're going to have. Thank you so much for everybody for tuning in. You guys take care of yourself. Have a good night. Have a safe day. Have a happy Mother's Day. You guys be safe out there, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace out, everybody. You guys have a good one, all right? Take care.
Peace.
Hell yeah.